by one unified message, a message to protect and discontinue the disruption of an unconditional due process for all of Florida residents. We further salute the 29 counties and local law enforcement agencies in the state of Florida for their moral courage in establishing policies to limit detention orders by ICE. My name is Rasha Mubarak, and I work for the Council on American Islamic Relations of Florida, a civil rights group that tenaciously fights discrimination on all accounts, a leading advocate for justice, and we share the same concerns of state and local law enforcement involvement in federal immigration enforcement, as it raises constitutional concerns. At CAIR Florida, we are proud to be one of the signatories of the Trust Orlando Coalition. Like my companions at the Trust Orlando Coalition, we are working to obviate a mass deportation from our airports to no wall to the streets. We fight to preserve civil liberties for all. The Trust Orlando Coalition intends to be a vehicle, a safe vehicle that drives already riding passengers, immigrants, to a curb of opportunity, where they are fastened by a belt of immunity. We will not let an impaired driver compromise the wheel and steer anyone in the direction where it arrives to a place of criminalization. And if for whatever reason that we are pulled over for a traffic violation, we will be met by a uniform that secretes the Equal Protection Clause and the Fourth Amendment. We will not encounter a disbarred badge of unconstitutionality. Together, we will ride to airports to greet our Muslim brothers and sisters. Together, we will peel through walls and then use that concrete debris to build bridges. No more discriminating trenches and ending up in an unlawful ditch. Together we ride, together we rise. Our drivers, our members of the Trust Orlando Coalition include the Farm Worker Association of Florida, 32BJ SEIU, Central Florida AFL-CIO, United Auto Workers Local 1649, Unite Here 737, Orange Education Support Professional Association, Orange County Classroom Teachers Association, United Faculty of Florida, UCF, Orange County Classroom Teachers, Community Workers of America Local 3108, Central Florida Jobs with Justice, Florida Immigrant Coalition, Mi Familia Vota Education Fund, Mi Familia Vota's Committee Fuerza Emigrante, Vamos for PR, Iniciativa Acción Puertorriqueña, National Council of La Raza, Latino Leadership Orlando Chapter, Latino Justice, Hope Community Center, Interfaith Council of Central Florida, the Council on American Islamic Relations of Florida, League of Women Voters, Orange County, Florida Student Power Network, Rollins College, Imagine Justice, Student Labor Action Project at UCF, UCF Progressive Student Coalition, and Equality Florida. It's a powerful coalition. The Trust Orlando Coalition asks you to implement the Florida Trust Act, placing you, me, us, and this country on the right side of history, keeping families together. Let us be the voice that speaks our true American values. Let us stop this rhetoric of hate and division. Let us be the real United States of America, the country of equivalence. Our program consists of the following speakers. Carmen Torres on behalf of Senator Victor Torres and Representative Amy Mercado. Representative Carlos Guillermo Smith. Lorena Jimenez from Unite Here, Atsuri from Mi Familia Vota, the Farm Workers Association of Florida, the Interfaith Council of Central Florida, the Florida Student Power Network, and Vamos for PR. So without further ado, I would like to introduce the dignified and powerful extension of the Powerhouse family, Ms. Carmen Torres, on behalf of Senator Victor Torres and Representative Amy Mercado.
Good morning. My name is Carmen Torres. I have a little cold, so excuse me. And it is my honor to be with you this morning on behalf of my husband, State Senator Victor Torres, and my daughter, State Representative Amy Mercado. Both Victor and Amy are in Tallahassee today, working on behalf of their constituents and all residents of Florida in their legislative capacity. So it is my privilege to join with you as their surrogate in support of this issue that is critical to so many in the Hispanic and minority community. All people, regardless of race, religious beliefs, or cultural heritage, deserve the same respect and equal treatment under the law. State and local law enforcement officials are tasked with ensuring the protection and safety of the public at large. To distract them from that mission by asking the already limited law enforcement resources to be directed at enforcing federal immigration and enforcement efforts jeopardizes the safety of the general public. Senator Torres is proud to file Senate Bill 1674, the Florida Trust Act, which ensures state resources will not be expended in the enforcement of federal laws or deportation activities. It is also the intent of this act to foster collaboration and support between minority and immigrant communities and local law enforcement, not create a climate of division, distrust, and fear. Representative Amy Mercado has signed on as a co-sponsor for the companion House Bill 1407 filed by Representative Carlos Smith in support of those in the minority and immigrant communities, and are attempting to promote the appropriate level of respect and cooperation with our state and local law enforcement agencies. I thank you for allowing me to stand with you today and deliver this message of unity and hope. Both Senator Torres and Representative Mercado look forward to working with all the members of this coalition to advance this cause. Thank you.
Thank you, Carmen.
Thank you, Carmen. Next up is a man of justice unconditionally who will advocate for every single person in this world's rights. Give it up for Representative Carlos Guillermo Smith.
Thank you, Rasha, and good morning. My name is Representative Carlos Guillermo Smith, and I am the son of immigrants. Me llamo Carlos Guillermo Smith y soy el hijo de inmigrantes. I'm proud to stand here with Carmen Torres, with Senator Victor Torres, and the Trust Coalition to announce this very urgent legislation that protects the hardworking immigrant communities in our state. Legislation that we call the Florida Trust Act. Today, even as we speak, the Trump administration is launching a full-fledged attack on immigrants of all backgrounds: Mexicans, Muslims, Syrian refugees seeking asylum in the United States. This directly impacts our family members, our friends, our neighbors, our coworkers, and our constituents. Florida is home to approximately 925,000 undocumented immigrants. That includes approximately 110,000 in the Orlando, Kissimmee, Sanford metropolitan area alone. They are working hard. They are raising their families. They are paying taxes just like everyone else. And about $11.64 billion in taxes a year are paid by undocumented immigrants. The National Bureau of Economic Interest estimates that undocumented immigrants contribute close to $500 billion in economic activity annually. We rely on immigrants as part of our local economy and our everyday lives. And undocumented immigrants have constitutional rights, and we are here to protect those rights. That is why this legislation is so important. The Florida Trust Act, House Bill 1407, does several things. It restricts the use of state, local government, law enforcement, or school resources to investigate, arrest, hold, harass, transfer, or detain persons for the purpose of immigration enforcement. To do so without a court order from an immigration authority is not only unconstitutional, but it is a waste of already limited local resources. This bill entitles legal counsel for persons present or residing in the state if they are taken into custody, charged, summoned, harassed, or presented with allegations of removal proceedings or deportation. It prohibits the use of state, local, law enforcement, or school databases in federal programs seeking to register individuals on the basis of race, gender, disability, sexual orientation, gender identity, immigration status, or national or ethnic origin. In other words, there will be no Muslim registry. And finally, it requires our Attorney General to develop model policies to be implemented in our K-12 public schools, at our public colleges and universities, our hospitals, our courthouses, in order to ensure the safety and accessibility to all residents, regardless of their immigration status. Now, we already know that distrust between our local communities and law enforcement makes it substantially less likely that immigrants will come forward to report crimes or suspicious activity, for fears that they will be detained or deported. This important legislation strengthens those critical local relationships and keeps us all safe. House Bill 1407 builds and expands on the very good work of 29 counties and local law enforcement agencies in Florida that have adopted policies that limit detention ordered by ICE detainers without judicial warrant. Much like the announcement that was recently made by Orange County Sheriff Jerry Demings to not enter into any DHS agreement to enforce immigration laws. Orange County did this because they know when ICE entangles itself locally, that further undermines community confidence in law enforcement, and that puts us all at risk. Now, this legislation is not the end-all solution to immigration. Congress needs to pass comprehensive immigration reform if we are to make real progress. But until then, we are standing together to protect those constitutional rights of immigrants. Somos unidos por los derechos de la comunidad inmigrante. Now, I know that the political climate in Tallahassee is very tough. This will be hard. It will be met with hostility by Republican leaders who want to go in the opposite direction. But make no mistake, we will not be deterred. We will be unapologetic. We are going to fight for our community. We are going to stand for what is right. And if the Republican leadership wants to continue legislating based on xenophobia and racism, that is their prerogative. But we will not stop. We will continue to resist their policies, and we are not going anywhere. And we are going to send a loud and clear message to Florida's immigrant population, which is that we are with them, that we are united in solidarity for justice and equality. Somos unidos por justicia y igualdad por toda la gente. Muchísimas gracias.
Thank you, Representative Carlos Guillermo Smith. I would like to introduce Lorena Jimenez from Unite Here 737.
Good morning. My name is Lorena Jimenez. I represent Unite Here Local 737. It is the union who represents over 15,000 workers here in Central Florida. Our members, the majority of our members are from other countries. There are immigrants. I came here to this country many years ago as an undocumented. I came here because I was looking for a better life. I know how it feels to live in the shade, and I know how it feels to not have a stability, and I know how it feels to live in fear. Now I am proud to be a citizen, and as a citizen, for me it's important the Trust Act. The police should be part of the community and not part of separating families. Someone who does not have papers should not be scared to call the police if they need help, for fear to have their documents checked. That's why I'm here, supporting our members and families. And yes, we can. Sí se puede.
Thank you, Lorena. Sí se puede.
Sí se puede.
Next up, we have a representative from Mi Familia Vota at City.
Bueno, buenos días, soy Axiri Barrera de Fuerza Inmigrante de parte de Mi Familia Vota. Y en mi comunidad inmigrante me han inculcado a llevar mi país natal en el corazón, pero siempre, sobre todo, amar y respetar a este país que nos ha abierto puertas que nunca creímos posibles. A través de DACA he podido aportar y agradecer al país que me enseñó que todos se merecen libertad y justicia, with liberty and justice for all. Con el acta de confianza, mi comunidad inmigrante seguirá aportando y agradeciendo al Estado de la Florida con seguridad. Y así, la justicia y libertad se extenderá a toda la Florida. Se les agradece a los representantes que están en esta lucha con nosotros hoy, porque por muchos años no solo es el miedo, sino la falta de esperanza en mi comunidad. Y hoy estamos aquí saliendo y aportando y ayudando para representar y decir aquí que en la Florida sí se puede. Gracias.
Thank you. Next up, we have a representative from the Farm Workers Association of Florida.
Hola, buenos días. Mi nombre es Jessica Ramírez de la Asociación Campesina y yo como fui trabajadora del campo, yo puedo ser la voz de toda nuestra comunidad campesina. Las dificultades que nuestra gente pasa son inmigrantes campesinos y es una de las comunidades más vulnerables porque tienen unos salarios muy bajos, porque sus derechos laborales son violados, porque son expuestos a pesticidas, porque no hablan el idioma o no hablamos el idioma. Tenemos muchas barreras ya con el hecho de ser campesinos inmigrantes. Entonces nosotros como Asociación Campesina estamos luchando por sus derechos y infinitamente estamos agradecidos con los representantes Carlos Smith y el senador Víctor Torres por querer ayudarnos, tener la buena intención de ayudarnos con esta acta de confianza, ya que sería un alivio muy bueno para nuestra comunidad. Podrían salir a trabajar sin miedo, podrían salir a trabajar, podrían salir a comprar el mandado para su familia, pueden llevar a sus niños a la escuela sin temor. Así que, pues, muchísimas gracias a los representantes por su apoyo.
Thank you. Up next, we have the Interfaith Council of Central Florida.
Good morning. The Interfaith Council of Central Florida consists of representatives from the many religions practiced here. Our mission is to create a better, more peaceful, more harmonious community by encouraging and facilitating greater understanding of and respect for and cooperation among our region's many faith traditions. We affirm the core principle that every human being has innate value and deserves to be treated justly and with dignity and respect. We feel strongly that the state of Florida should ensure due process and humane treatment of all people living in Florida. We support the introduced bills as necessary at this particular moment because, together with many others who share our humanitarian concerns, we fear that laws long left unaddressed by both Republican and Democrat administrations will suddenly be enforced with a vengeance, totally devoid of compassion, common sense, or comprehensive analysis. In such a situation, considerable harm will be brought to individuals, to communities, and the general public. As faith leaders and representatives from diverse religious traditions, we stand with our brothers and sisters in this powerful trust coalition to strongly urge our elected officials to support the introduced bills that will increase the safety of immigrants and others potentially targeted for arrest and detention in Florida, and that will in turn render all our communities safer and more harmonious. May we together realize our shared humanity by practicing love, compassion, and wisdom. Thank you.
Thank you. If we can have a representative from the Florida Student Power Network up next. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Fernan Lauro Gregorio. I'm a DACA student, a dreamer. Trust is a basic human characteristic that it's safe to say that we all want to give and receive. I was born in Argentina. I came here in 2004. Oh, sorry. I came here in 2004, and along with my dreamer friends, we have trust in our families, but we fear that our family members, not aliens, our family members, our undocumented family members, we fear that they might hear that knock on the door, that one day ICE might come get them or something like that. We fear that, and I beg of you that we want to put back the trust in our community, the trust in our neighbors, this trust in authority. I want you guys to trust ourselves, trust others, and have trust in the Trust Act. Thank you. Muchas gracias.
Beautiful. Thank you. Last but certainly not least, we have Vamos for PR. Puerto Rico.
Buenos dias. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Father Jose Rodriguez, and I am a priest and a member of the steering committee for Vamos for PR in Florida, which is a network of 33 community organizations here in Orlando. We're here to stand with our immigrant brothers and sisters to say that there is no such thing as an illegal, there's no such thing as a alien. We are all people, we are all children of God, and we are all here with equal worth and dignity. There are no second-class people, and in the same way that I should not live in fear, no one should live in fear. In the same way that I can go to bed at night knowing that my family and children are safe, all family and children should be able to go to bed, wake up in the morning, and go to school and know that they are safe, and that they get to be home with their mother, father, or whatever caretaker they have, and whomever is taking care of them. They get to go home and know that they have that safety net waiting for them. As a Boricua, I know what it is to be part of an immigrant community. I share in that experience. While I was born a U.S. citizen, I know what it is to be a victim of discrimination because of my name, because of the language I speak. I know how it is to be part of a community where people look down upon us because we are a different color. And I know as a U.S. citizen what it means to have a police officer come to your car window and ask you for your papers. And that is not right, and no human being should ever experience that. Quite simply, I am here because everyone here is my brother and my sister, and I am here to be your friend, and I'm here to say you have worth and I love you. And Vamos for Puerto Rico stands for that. Today, we need to stand together to ensure the passage of the Florida Trust Act. If passed, the Florida Trust Act will protect the safety of all of our state's residents, all of our neighbors, all of the people we come in contact with, by making sure that immigrant victims are not afraid to report crimes. They're not afraid to go to the people that are supposed to help them. They're not afraid to go to the people that are supposed to keep them safe. The Florida Trust Act helps our state live up to its highest values by protecting the constitutional rights of all our residents. This bill will protect our state's precious resources from potentially costly litigation. We must not forget the federal judges all over our nation who have repeatedly found detainer requests to violate the U.S. Constitution. The Florida Trust Act will also give parents at our state school children peace of mind by requiring our public schools, our K-12 schools, to develop policies to limit assistance with immigration enforcement and protect rogue school security guards who cooperate with immigration and customs enforcements. Our children go to school to learn, not to be afraid of immigration enforcement. They go to school to be part of a community. They go to school to make friends with their neighbor. They don't go to school to live in a secret state where people will come and snatch you at a moment's notice. I stand before you as a person of faith to lend my voice in support of all families, the dignity and worth of all people. Immigrant families, refugee families, families with long histories in the U.S. We are all God's children, and we are all deserving of safety, dignity, and a decent life. We must stand together for the passing of this bill, and we must always remember that for justice, for protection, and for equal opportunity, yes, we can. Sí se puede.
Also, I want to introduce a good friend. His name is Christopher Cuevas, and he's here to talk very briefly representing the organization Q Latinx.
Buenos dias. So I'm here to talk about how immigrant issues impact not just the immigrant community, but the LGBTQ community. We are immigrants, many of us are. Our organization supports LGBTQ Latinx immigrants. We understand the horror and the fear that so many live with, not knowing where they can find safety, where they can find sanctuary, where they can find places of respite. And so we stand affirmed and we stand supporting the Trust Act Coalition. I firmly believe in their mission, and so many of the members of our organization do. This is incredible work, and I encourage you, I implore you all to continue to support and advocate for this, for the protection of our immigrant communities, Black, brown, and so forth. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for coming out today from our Trust Orlando Coalition. Our two champion legislators. Thank you, Carmen, for coming out to represent Senator Victor Torres and Representative Amy Mercado, and of course, Representative Carlos Guillermo Smith. This concludes our press conference, and as a Palestinian Muslim American that is fighting discrimination of Islamophobia and any kind of xenophobia and rights for comprehensive immigration reform, I stand with my Latino brothers and sisters, and we fight for justice for all. And if anyone needs any one-on-one interviews with Representative Carlos Smith or anyone from the coalition, they are available for those one-on-one interviews. Thank you very much.